Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, so number two, line two, the Harris Memorial Bench plaque, naming request, Lori Harris Knapp,
That's me.
right? So you want
Should I come up here?
Here.
I'm Lori,
Hi,
Hi,
Lori,
Lori.
pleasure to meet you.
likewise.
This is your commission.
That's, I was gonna say, been a lot of meetings, ours are never fun. So, first of all, I want to thank you for inviting me to, tell you why I want to purchase a bench. My name is Lori Harris Knapp. I was born and raised in Kingston with my family. My father was a high school teacher, taught social studies, upon his demise in August of 2020. My brother, Jim Harris, also graduated from Kingston High School in 1982 and died this year, February 20th, after contracting both variants of COVID. He was 57. Originally, I wanted to purchase a bench in my brother and father's memory to be placed in the park, as both of them were pretty active. However, 2 months ago, I was walking through Woodstock, New York, and I saw a memorial for COVID in front of a Lutheran church in honor of all those who lost their lives for COVID-19. There was an email address open to everybody who lost due to this horrific virus. It was beautiful, touching memorial. There were a ton of crosses with all the deceased names on it. According to the internet in New York State, there were 592,000 deaths to date for people who died of COVID in this, I'm sorry, who had COVID in this area, 394 according to the internet who died in Ulster County. Hence, I'm here today to ask if I could purchase a bench to be placed wherever you guys think. I was thinking of Mayor Gallows Park, but wherever you would think, in honor of all the residents who lost their lives due to COVID. There's different models I was thinking. This was one that was placed in Post Park. I can show you a couple of pictures. We could do this, not in memory of my brother, but I could say in memory of all those lost to COVID. There was another idea I had too of.
Are these the same?
They're the same. That's the one in, my brother was very active, played softball, town of Ulster. He did the Hamlet League for Kingston with Mark Rory. He raised money for that. So I wanted to do a bench originally in his honor, but then I thought, there's so many people, I know Kathy Schleimer, there's so many people who died of COVID that I know in this area. I thought it'd be nice to set up some type of COVID memorial. So then I was thinking you could do a bench and I would spearhead it if you like. I purchased the bench in any area, I'd anchor it, and then we could either do a title like in all those who lost their lives in COVID, and then whoever wants to purchase something like this, this is something else in honor of my father and my brother. But you could put it right down, they could have their names on it, and we could put it around the bench. Or another idea I was thinking, this is another idea, you can put a plaque on. My brother worked at Northern Dutchess, so this is what they did up there. In memory of James B. Harris, we love you, but then a plaque for everybody. I'm not just saying Pacific Jimmy, because there's so many people. When I looked, I was flabbergasted, and people are still dying today from COVID. And my brother was in great shape, worked out. It said, according to the internet, it said 394 to date died in Ulster County of COVID. So, when I walk through other places, I know when I walked to Woodstock and I saw the COVID memorial, it was so touching. They invited us to a service. It was crowded with people who lost loved ones. I was in Beacon. I saw a COVID memorial. I have, both of these I can pass around, whichever one is good.
I think we got some wings on.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're heavy. They're heavy.
Nicholas is your brother?
This was my brother, Jimmy Harris.
Jimmy.
Jimmy was my brother, Nicholas was my father. That was for something else, but that's what I was thinking of for the COVID memorial.
So you're talking about that there's a bench.
I was thinking of doing a bench, this is what I was, my vision, of a bench, and on the bench, you could do either format. You can put a plaque like this, or you can engrave it. So I was thinking of all those in Kingston who lost their lives due to COVID-19. And you could put the bench wherever you were thinking. I was thinking of Mayor Gallows because it's an attraction for Kingston area residents as well as other people. And then I thought maybe we could put plaques around if it's too much, it's okay. But I was thinking I would take it on, and if somebody wanted to order a plaque We would put the plaque, something similar to that, and we could bury it like so it's all around the bench.
So the bench would be there with the COVID.
Correct.
um,
And then,
Some mention of why it's there.
correct.
And then these, not really bricks, I don't know. what they are.
Well, we could do bricks too. I mean, where I
Yeah.
teach, we do bricks, but I was thinking something a little different.
Yeah, no, I'm not
I
saying
know, I'm
one or
just,
the other.
right.
I don't know what they call it, but it's little brick.
It's pretty heavy weight.
Yeah. What is it? Is it
I
granite?
don't know, I think it's granite. That one, I mean, I would find a cheaper version, but we could even, like this bench that I put in, Post Park, I think it ran me 1,600, about 1,600, and they did the engraving for me.
So that the six.
That's what's included in the grade. So I would purchase the bench.
And what do these cost?
That was about, I want to say 400 for that,
400.
because it's heavy, but you could do it in a plaque, or you could do it in, I was just thinking, like, the bench could be engraved in memory of all those who lost their lives due to COVID,
Right.
and then put those around it, if people wanted to put a more personal touch with the people who they lost, loved ones they lost.
You have one, but 400 is gonna cost probably for a lot of people.
Or you could do a brick, I know where I teach,
Yeah.
we do bricks for 100,
Right.
so I just did that because it was my dad and my brother, and that's.
But it's to each
Yeah.
their own family what they do, how they do it. You know.
Yeah,
Well,
You probably
well,
want.
I wanted to
Is
give
it
it,
or-
yeah.
or do you want uniformity?
Right, I was thinking uniformity, just something to honor these people. When I saw the one in Woodstock and I saw the one in Beacon, I thought it was so touching.
It's beautiful,
That is really
it's
nice.
really nice, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was just shocked that it's 400.
so was I. But it was important to me, so.
Prices went up and everything, like, it's
Yeah, yeah,
no different than a headstone, which is made of the same thing, pretty much, so, you know, however, the best thing to me is to make everything consistent,
right,
and, you know, sometimes it takes a little donation for the families to get together, whatever it may be, but as long as it's consistent, I think that'd be a better look in all throughout the whole.
I would suspect that
This is
will,
beautiful, though.
that will withstand the weather and.
that's why I got, that one was placed outside with
Yeah.
another bed, and that's why I had that, one. That's another,
Yeah.
That one I think would withstand better than a brick,
right,
but 100 or 400 is. And I don't know, you know, I don't know that the 400 is really cost prohibitive or not, you know, to a family who would pitch in and raise, you know, I mean, in many families, one person would buy it, but in others, people could pitch in.
right. I know I couldn't make payments on this, I know the tombstone I could, but this one,
That's okay.
this one I couldn't.
Right, and that's why, yeah. So,
Well, they know where Tombstone is, they know
That's right.
what you're doing with that.
So it's just a thought, I mean, whether, I'll leave you guys to discuss, I just want to present it. and
Thank you so much.
You know, it's such a debilitating disease when you walk through, when I had to pull my brother's vein, you walk through Northern Dutchess, and you walk through St. Francis, and you walk through Vassar, right, Baron Scott, you walk through there and you see all these people in ventilators, ages, 14 all the way up, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So,
So sorry for the loss.
oh, thank you, I'm trying to be proactive, so I want to do things that
That's
honor
great.
people that,
It really is.
So thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming, for speaking with us.
Thank you.
I'll be in touch with you, we'll
Okay.
we'll figure out what,
If there's questions, we can,
Yeah,
are you okay with me sharing your, contact information with the commissioner?
of course.
Is that all right? Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
No, I don't really shake them. but-
Yeah.
That's
Thank
fine.
Good, good.
Fine.
All right,
Thank
take
you.
care.
Thank you.
Yeah.
now,
Uh,
your pictures, but,
Thank you.
so you're familiar with people who have lost people that, do you know others who want to
Yeah, I talked to,
buy those bricks or blocks?
well, I know 3 offhand that would probably do it.
Yeah, I think.
So, I mean, and those 3, two I knew personally, my brother and this other, Kathy Schleiner, who's relative to my friend Dorothy. So I know those 2 personally very well. The third one used to do my exams by the YMCA, what's that, radio?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, G. Barry,
yeah.
yeah. So when I went in there, they're like, she passed the COVID, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's another, So it's just,
And the bench, was 1,600, you said, right?
Yeah, and I'd buy it in memory mode. I'd be more than happy to purchase a bench. This one, Rocco, Secreto, I don't know if everybody knows
Yeah.
Rocco. Rocco helped my husband and I put this in.
That's nice.
So,
What's the maintenance on that?
nothing.
Nothing.
It's plastic based.
Don't have to paint it or anything.
Yeah, nothing. We bought it online. I researched every place online to get a hardy bench because Jimmy always used to walk. My brother would walk the dog and took care of my elderly parents, so he would walk them down there all the time. So I put a bench down there in his memory. So when I said to Rocco, he's like, research different places, and that's what I found. And I'll tell you, it's pretty
The wood is.
pretty durable.
The wood isn't wood.
No, it's a plastic material. It's like a Trex.
Like a
That's
Trex.
exactly.
What company, if you don't mind me asking, did you get this from?
High, treetop, it's either treetops or I can email.
Oh,
it. I
yeah,
can't
let me know,
remember.
'cause
It's either treetops or, Highwood or
Okay.
something.
All right.
Because I hate to see like with the wood, it chips, rots, breaks, splinters, all of that, and then you got a memorial that
Right.
looks raggedy, so.
Yeah, and I'll take care of it. I mean, I'm a Kingston resident.
Oh,
I'd be
yeah.
happy to, whatever you need for that. But they come in different colors too. This color I loved. It also comes in a dark green.
Okay.
So there's different variants.
Nice, nice.
So I'll send you the website.
Yes, that'd be great, and then we can talk further about that, yeah.
Thank you for your
Thanks,
time.
Lori.
so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Nice to meet you, everybody.
Pleasure to meet you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Have a good night. See you another night. Thank you.
Really?
All right, so we should probably move on to this gentleman here so that we can wait until now.
Thank you. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
My name's Jack Rutherford, so I'm an attorney at Fair Speech. Hudson Valley Housing Development. Hudson Valley.
Excuse me. Just start over, but speak up a little bit more.
Oh, sure,
I
absolutely.
can hear you. I
Yeah,
can hear you.
it's a little echo here. My name is Jack, J, it's like David with a J. Attorney in Fair Speech, represent Hudson Valley Housing Development Fund Company. These folks they're a not-for-profit. They're mission-driven to provide affordable, high-quality housing for seniors and the affordable housing market. And I know this probably came before the Parks and Rec board. I don't know who was here at that time a while ago, but the project stalled for quite a while. We had some issues with getting site access. Those issues have been resolved. The county has given us across other issues here. I'll just pass them down. So we're full steam ahead. We're before the planning board to get final site approval on this housing development. It's a 60 unit. And it's the intended 60 unit. It's the intended market is seniors. And it's all meets the definition of affordable housing according to the city terms, so it's 100% there. I've given you two documents here. One is the county parcel viewer, kind of gives you an idea as to where the parcels are. And HVH parcel, and they give you a little overhead, so we can kind of see what that parcel looks like. Like I mentioned, 60 units for seniors. There's going to be a ton of on-site, both indoor and outdoor recreational facilities. Outside, we have open terrace. It's got access to 23 acre. It's a 23 acre parcel, and at least 50% of that is considered open space. How the city defines it. The recreational trails there. The county rail trail actually is going in on our property, which is that long strip that you see on. So folks will have that walking access. Members of the public will obviously have access there as well. Indoor, we've got community spaces for residents, 9 different lounges, a community center. In essence, what we're doing is we're building a complex for seniors to not only have affordable housing, but to be able to also sustain itself in terms of its recreation needs. In terms of demographics, it's 60 units, all but I think 4 of them are 1 bedroom. So it's not going to cause a huge influx of folks coming in, relying on city resources for parks and facilities. These are going to be all seniors, if not individuals living in a unit, maybe 1 or 2. But the demographics being seniors, not going to have kids, it's not going to have a tax on those types of recreation facilities. And because we are hitting the affordable market, we're heavily reliant on federal and state funding to kind of make the city work within the price market that we're aiming for. The $3,000 fee is a huge hit for us, and what we're looking for is some sort of consideration given the charitable mission and what we're looking to do. And you know, the what I would couch as, you know, not a huge hit on existing city recreational facilities and resources, asking for some consideration on a reduced or zero fee to move this project forward.
So 60 units,
60, that's right.
and how many of them are one bedroom?
54-ish,
And the others?
two bedrooms.
Do you guys have like a site plan that's been approved? Or?
So yeah, we are about, crossing fingers, we're about 1 or 2 meetings away from a final site plan approval. We just had a technical conference with the city planning. We got squared away on all of the, you know, put this on this map, whatever.
Yeah.
We were just before the planning board at their last meeting. We are, you know, I think we are giving them our preliminary grading plan. But I'm anticipating hopefully either December's meeting or at latest January's meeting to have a final site plan approval for this.
Yeah,
What, I'm sorry. What recreation will there be for the 150 or 120 or 30, whatever it is?
Yeah,
Uh,
60 to about 100, yeah, higher than 60, probably 70 to 100, 110. Well, like I said, so indoor, right, we've got 9 different lounges within the building of the footprint. We've got a large community room with an entertainment center, a fully stocked community kitchen, and then outside, we've got outside patios, terrace, we've got walking paths throughout the property. It's connected by footpath right to the rail trail. It's got access to the Sopus. So, you know, again, the demographics of people there, you know, largely seniors will be on the grounds, kind of doing their thing. We don't anticipate them really leaving that property all too often, nor do we anticipate family members coming in too often to visit. But you know, that's the project we're looking at.
Is there a gym there or something? Or?
There's no gym. There might be a room with just like workout bikes, but it wouldn't be a full fledged.
That's a gym.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Yeah, go ahead,
so there's no amenities, what are the amenities that's gonna be for the tenants? That's my question.
What you mean by amenities? Like they're
So like you said, that there's this trail, like, so we're Parks and Rec. So
Yeah,
so
right.
so you're saying there's some trails or some things like that.
Right.
I think what Joe's getting at is like, for even just public approval itself, like, do us as members of the public have access to this, property to be able to go down to the creek and potentially fish or use our canoes or use our kayaks? We have
Great
the ability
question.
to,
So, yeah,
Right,
in the earlier stages of this property, the intent was to, it's a 23-acre spot,
Right,
cut off a very large piece of it and give it to the city for Parks and Rec purposes. The city didn't want it, and I think at that point it was because the rail trail wasn't planned, it wasn't there. Yes, those plans have changed. All that open space will still be preserved. It will still be, I mean, folks using that rail trail, they see the trails, you know, I'm sure they can access it, right? We're not gonna put up no trespassing sign.
okay, you're not.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Definitely not. And if you're using the rail trail, you'll see it, see the surface, and if the trail is there, I'm sure folks will access it that way. But that said, I think that the fines are giving that partial to the city. I think this is no go for the city, so we're going to change that.
And then where's your access point to where, so I'm assuming this is where you're gonna build the building?
That's the rough footprint of where the building is, where the clearing is. If you look at the county.
So you're coming through Hurley Avenue, or
Yeah.
would you be coming down? Okay.
So we're the primary sole egress is Hurley Avenue, and we have site control and purchased all of those lots to be able to make that connection. You see that little strip, which
Yeah,
is the
that's the
former
trail,
OW,
right,
that's
right.
gonna be, that's in part rail trail, but we have a reserve access or easement on that for emergency purposes, so you know, God forbid something happens and our primary access is cut off, emergency apparatus is able to come up that. We're gonna be maintaining that for that purpose. So while it is a rail trail that's public for public purposes and the county does maintain, you know, is supposed to maintain it, we're gonna be pointing on that one and be the primary its maintenance and snow removal, because it will serve as a secondary emergency access to us.
And your tenants, again, it's 100% seniors, 100%
It's 65 plus.
65 plus seniors,
55 plus.
so 55
55
plus.
plus.
And affordable.
And
What
affordable.
does that mean?
So there's a definition of affordable in the city code, it meets that, so it's below market, and I think the below, cities even more generous, but we're even below that.
It's not a friendly market, so. So this is the area
That's the rough footprint of where the,
of the
of
building
the building
itself?
itself, yeah. That's gonna be the general area of site disturbance.
So, and here, it covers this area, right?
That's correct, yeah, that, everything you see in green largely belongs to
It's
us.
clear behind the Best Western.
Yeah,
And what else is, other than the building,
a parking lot, but that's about it. So
the rest is gonna be left?
the left is gonna be, there's gonna be a small borrow area that we're gonna use some soil from. But then once we're done using the soil, it's gonna be restored. But it's gonna be the building, the access way, from Hurley, and then the parking lot. But otherwise, the remainder of the site's gonna remain undisturbed. And we're gonna continue to preserve it as open space.
Great, yeah, great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I definitely think before we can make a decision, we're gonna have to see like a footprint.
Oh, yeah.
Bring this to attention to being proactive.
Sure,
Thank you so much.
Sue Cahill, I'm not sure if she made available to you guys all of the project prints.
Yep.
They're all on the planning site.
Oh,
Yes, it's all there. If you go to planning projects, you go to Easton Meadows.
Yeah.
Everything's up there.
Everything's there.
There you go.
okay.
And I guess we're gonna go to the for the next 2 weeks, whenever it is, we're gonna ask for a final decision at that point.
Okay.
And certainly, a recommendation from you guys for reduced or zero fee for rent would go a long way in getting the project, funded and actually built sooner rather than
What's the time frame?
timeframe to put it up. So we are already funded on doing site work. So like I said, how these projects get built, they're all dependent on having all of your approvals. No one's going to give you money, either be grant or zero interest loans, unless you're shovel ready to go. So, but that said, we already have some secured funding, and we're supposed to use it for all of this preliminary site work. What that means is clearing the footprint, doing soil compaction, making sure the ground settles, do that whole months, go back, do the testing, make sure the foundation is going to be good. So we're funded for that. As soon as we have our site plan approval, which is the last approval we need, our project does become shovel ready, then it becomes eligible for a whole host of grants and funds. We've been pushing super hard on this. We have actually foregone on like 3 funding opportunities because of approval, but as soon as we have it, we're now again eligible and make those applications. Our hopes and plans are to, we'll do the site work, wait for funding when that hits, start construction as soon as possible. But because of economy and things where we're at, we just can't say we're definitely gonna do this. That said, we have a plan with the city, we're gonna have a plan with the city to make sure that this project does go forward, and if it doesn't go forward, we'll do in terms of restoring the site so that it's back to its original, so that we're not, dealing with a cleared up, footprint and nothing ever happened. So we're either working on some sort of permit condition to make sure that goes through, some sort of restoration bond, but that's kind of where we're at.
And you said a reduction or 0, but what, is there a number that you have in mind?
Our number was 0. So that's where we're at. But any consideration would be great. And again, if you're looking at the max 3,000 per unit, that's really half, if not a substantial portion of 1 year's, rents that come out of these things. And, with the policy of furthering affordable housing, I think it makes sense to make sure that we don't stop these types of projects. And again, we're not just like some developer coming in. We've got 5 of these projects built out in the Hudson Valley mid region. They're all successful. And they're all serving charitable purposes, which is affordable housing for seniors and other, needy community members. So, trying to hear developer any profits or anything.
So the rents are in the $500-600 range, is that?
Good question.
I get there, and I might be
Yeah.
incorrectly, but if it's half of a year, 3,000 is half a year.
Yeah, I would say it's a substantial portion. So you're probably looking at about $500-600 per unit, something like that. Yeah, and again, the reason why we can do it is A, we're nonprofit, charitable, profit motive, and we rely on government funding to get this stuff going. And at the end of the day, as long as we're sustainable, we don't need to pay, shareholders or anything like that. So
All right,
I just have a couple questions.
Yeah, sure.
Can you just tell me again how many 2 bedrooms you said?
So it's 4, but one of it's going to be used for the on-site person who lives there.
Oh, okay.
Not sure if that counts or not. And then there's been, so it's 2 or 3 really.
All right, and the other question I have, so this, like you said, this was brought to the commission in 2011.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone here was there at this time, except for Steve Shabbat, who's our liaison, from the council.
Mhm.
So one thing, I mean, at the time, the commission had recommended that this, development pay the full amount, based on the information provided. I'm just curious, has anything changed in terms of what is now being provided to offset any impact on the community?
So lots have changed, right? We have now given the county the rights to the rail trail. So they have, for recreational purposes, they can put that in there, even though we still own it and we still maintain the access right to use it for emergency purposes. So that's changed. We've changed going from, it was 65 plus, we reduced that to 55 plus. So the demographic has changed a little bit, and I think that's just to make it consistent with a lot of the federal funding requirements. We have to hit that 55 plus demographic, we can't go to 65. Other things that have changed is, well, obviously we offer the property to the city, we didn't want to do that. We're no longer subdividing it, so that's changed, and we're gonna use the available space for residents on-site recreational purposes. What else has changed? I think that's pretty much it. Other than we now have county access for Market Avenue, so that's the biggest one we want last time. In terms of this, another important thing, maybe not so much for recreational purposes, we've kind of done away with all use of fossil fuels. It's going to be 100% electric, Energy Star, LEED certified. Again, for high quality, but also affordable.
so it's pretty much everything is gonna be built as green energy.
Yeah, so that's,
Green,
so the only fossil fuel we're gonna have is an emergency generator, which will be diesel powered. And again, that's in case of complete outage of those, and that will fire up the community space and heating, so that folks aren't gonna be freezing. But other than that, we've gotten confirmation from Orange and Rockland that they'll be able to serve it, provide service for what we need there. And to the extent the market allows it, buy the green energy, because that's one of your lead factors. So those are the changes.
that's great. So you have Orange and Rockland coming, or Central Hudson,
I thought it was over.
or Norris, like Rockland County.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought the service, I could be wrong, whoever the utilities is at.
Okay.
We have
Great.
a letter from them saying they can, given the changes, because it used to be, fuel potential, fossil fuel. If we find out that it provides the service.
It's great. As long as it's green energy, that's a
Yeah.
plus for all of us here.
To us, climate act,
Climate
part of
act.
those policies. So-
Exactly. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Sure. If you have any questions, hit me up. You have my email. Stan?
Yeah, I think Sue had
Good.
it forwarded to me.
Again, all the documents are on the website. I apologize, I would have brought to my thoughts to that already this year. But it's all there.
Back in 2011, which I think she would.
No worries.
Yeah.
That's up to you.
Thanks.
Thanks so much. We really appreciate
Thank you
everything.
for coming by.
Great job.
I appreciate it. You too. Good rest of the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
What's the address?
Which one is it?
Here?
This is 420.
Yes, what do you look for?
It's not till 6:30, I just want to make sure it's the right building.
Uh,
Yeah, you're right.
This is 420?
yes.
Yeah.
So just so everyone knows, he's referring to the email, the documents that I sent that's what Sue sent. So those are the files if you guys want to review that.
Was it the section?
No, that's a separate one. There was, it's called, Kingston Meadows, and then there was an attachment with a link to all the files, because it was too large to send individually. So that has the letter from 2011.
I remember that. I was here on the board at the time.
Your name's not on here.
Wait, is my name? No.
No, the only Ellen from, and Ron
I'm
Woods.
sorry, I wasn't here.
Yeah. But,
Is that wetland that way?
yeah, so I think that's why he said now it's.
That's 11 years.
It's to bring soil, we're not gonna bring soil in, because that's the.
Right.
Remove
Yeah.
soil to
Okay.
make it.
So the map is on there, the grading and utility plans, the letter from 2011 is on here. Yeah, so I think that's probably what he was referencing there. So back in 2011, it was recommended that they pay the full fee. That's why I wanted to know what has really changed. Sue and I think, I don't think they got the impression that too much had changed. The reason why they wanted us to review it was because so much time had passed, but I don't know how much, I mean, I understand what you're saying about the county trail coming through there. I mean, I don't really know.
Well, one thing that's changed is precedent that we recently approved. Somebody for doing.
Kingston was the last one, yeah.
But I don't think it was a precedent. I mean, I think that was a decision made on a specific project.
Right.
So there should never be a thought that it's setting some sort of precedent. We gotta take it on a case by case situation. This is a totally different proposal, project. So I think everybody should just kind of separate that. This is, look at the facts that we have here, the documents. If there are things that are unclear, we can certainly reach out to them or the planning department and ask for clarification, but.
I think we should also, like you said, look at the project by project. We can't look at it as a case by case or president by president. It has to be, individualized. So what's behind us, now we have to build this one. So we have to, really look at it, see, look into it, see what's going on, see what's not going on. And we have to come to the conclusion to make the right decision on this project.
Yeah.
We have to also look at the history of it, of the ages of everything else. So and I must say, we have to come to our individual decision on how you're gonna vote or how you're gonna do this. So we have to really knuckle down on our paperwork and make sure we know exactly what we're looking at and the decision making of what we need to do. I think that's very important.
So the section you were showing, I know you probably have to bounce, but that is something to consider though. The other documents that I sent, that was kind of just another method to look at when making a determination. So, it's based on some census information and things like that. So not saying that that's how people have to make their decision or determination, but that's just another method, which I think folks are kind of asking for. So just take some time and look at that.
Andrea, good luck on you.
Yeah.
All of Andrea's game. Take care. Yeah, see you.
So, I mean, they're meeting, they're looking to get approval or get their decision at the next planning board meeting, which again, I think it's probably the 19th, I bet. So I don't know if people feel prepared to vote now. We can't
I'm
technically.
not ready now.
Yeah, so then they're not gonna be able to get there, or at least we're not gonna be able to provide a recommendation before their planning board meeting, so.
Well, they moved this far along in their process. And I think that being the rules, I like the sound of the senior, it sounds very affordable.
Yeah.
And they have some recreational space, and they're donating the rail trail access and maintaining that, that's a biggie.
Yeah.
I like all of that, but I think that the rule is the rule is the rule. And until it's not, until there's an exemption or, you know, some kind of consideration granted for that, whether it's in whole, which is why I asked him what's the number you're looking for,
Yeah.
or in part.
Right. Yeah, based on the documentation that you sent out, I mean, there was some mathematics behind it. It made some sense, you know, to how they looked their answers. I don't necessarily know if that's the rules we should follow. So like you said, it's kind of arbitrary. That was my whole argument the last time too, is I think it's kind of feel like it should be in whole or nothing.
Yeah.
And based on the conversations that we had, it doesn't seem like they're providing one. I mean, I guess we also learned a little bit too after our meeting as well, as what is in lieu of parkland. What did they have to provide their residents in place of being able to go out and using our parks and stuff like that, as well as what access do we actually have to those spaces? You know, providing a trail, those are great, but I definitely take a look at the plan a little bit more.
Yeah.
And as I said, it's good for us to.
What's there for public space, you know, like what, again, like, I think one of the things that was huge was, you know, access to public restrooms. There was no restrooms in town of Kingston. Will they have restrooms available for these trails as well for the city, being considered down by the Silvis and whatnot? Are we, you know, that was kind of my question to me. And given, I mean, yes, you know, we said there's, you know, trespassing signs, which is great. There's not actually going to be a space. Sure. I mean, I don't know.
Well, and that's what I said,
I'm not going to vote tonight.
yeah, I'm definitely not. And I'll tell you why. My reason is because I like to see more details in front of me, just to make the right decision for the long term, not the short term, and to make sure that that we're on the same page along with the city.
Yeah.
And,
And the previous commission already made a ruling, which is something that we have to consider as well.
exactly.
Like Lindsay said, there was no real. We don't know if, I mean, the changes that he had proposed didn't really affect.
Yeah, I mean, the age from 55 to 65, I mean, I
Other way
think,
around, 65 to 55.
no, I think in
Yeah, what's the
2011.
65.
What's
now it's
55.
Oh, now it's 55.
Yeah.
Yeah, because,
Oh, I thought you, are you sure?
That's what it said.
yes, sir. Yes, these are the guidelines now, yeah.
So now it's 55.
55, and I mean, 55, like me, I'm almost there, I'm still dunking, so 55.
That's why I thought you were saying it the other way. I thought you were saying back then.
No, because
No.
you're very, a 55-year-old is very active right now.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking
55
not-
What are you saying about 65? That's what I'm asking.
65 is active also.
No, I thought that's why, I thought that was the point he was trying to make, is that these are maybe the little folks that are less active.
Yeah,
No,
But-
so,
they changed
so
it.
a senior, technically a senior is 65.
Well, they're going to range
They're going
55, so you're,
62.
some people would consider you a senior, I need to tell you. Upper, right, I'm just telling you, I
When they
recently
start
looked at
calling
senior
you sir?
meetings and
Excuse me, sir.
Well, then you start calling me sir, yeah, so
make sure,
55
you
is.
offer a seat for him. Jeez. All right, well, there were some things that I just want to follow up with the planning department on. The county trail, that's something that I just want a little clarification on. But, I mean, if we're talking, I guess it really,
Do we need to even vote on this?
Before they do.
Right, I mean, because if they haven't committed fully to carrying it through, I mean, you have to get all the approvals first. Should we even,
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, do you want to spend time looking into it until it is in
Yes,
place?
that's more.
I think, I like the idea of thinking about how we make the decisions.
Correct. That's.
Rather than actually making a voting decision on any project right now, but looking at, so does this move us, or does this move us, or, you know, what would it need to be for us to say, yes?
But I think that that's kind of
And
also an individual, like a personal
Mhm.
decision as each commissioner. So, you know, there are some people, and I'm using the last proposal as an example, just because that's also the example that was presented to me. Some folks felt that there were more than enough public amenities to offset any possible cost or any possible fee that we could have imposed. Others felt that there's still some sense of an impact possibly on the community or on our parks. And ultimately, that is what drives people's decisions. I think the past couple of meetings, what was asked of me is to provide some sort of other mechanism to consider. Now, that doesn't need to be voted on as the overall mechanism that we use moving forward. That could be your mechanism, and maybe you base it on, is there actual public open space? And if so, how much? Does the public have access to it? Do they not have access to it? You know, there are a few different ways that these things can be looked at. So that's why I encourage everyone to review this method and see if it's something that makes sense, you know, for one or all or whoever wants to consider that as an alternate option in terms of coming to a, you know, to some sort of fee. The all or nothing idea, I think, was what kind of stumped everybody last time. It's because maybe there was a thought that,
Yeah.
you know,
How do we find that middle ground?
Yeah, right.
Because
Right.
agree.
So is there a 50% reduction, and we're gonna charge $1,500?
Right.
We're gonna charge $3,000, or is it gonna be $500 because we think that this is a really,
Well, you know, guess what, the method isn't technically still there, you have to
we
make.
are that method.
Exactly, and the method is you're the method.
And
Yeah.
I think the mathematical part of it, though, is something that this right here is another idea or a suggestion of how to come to an actual number. There's
Yeah.
literally a formula in this
That's exactly right.
draft.
Yeah.
So that's just something that could give you that figure.
I think that's something we should do our homework on, sorry, Nancy.
No, I'm just gonna say that, I don't remember when it was, but the project up by the infirmary, not the jail. So we just did that,
Yeah,
and all right, and the only thing that they offered was like a little walking path,
That's it.
all right, and we said,
No.
right, that's my only,
Yeah.
Right.
and that wasn't that far
There's no
away.
space.
Right.
It's nothing.
And, all right, they're using that trail again,
To argue for them,
okay,
cycling is a huge thing.
Oh.
Bike and the paths are used for running, the runners,
Yeah.
for walking. A lot of seniors, like our chairperson, do a lot of, you know, they can do a lot of walking on, and they
Right.
do in most places.
Yeah.
And cycling, as, you know, people are bringing cycling events to our area. They have been for
right,
a number of years. COVID kind of stopped it. Now they're coming back again. Not just individual cyclists, but groups and state groups. So there's a benefit there. What's it worth?
right.
Is it worth something? I think it is worth something. What is it worth? No.
Well, Al, when we go to the BMX park down there, we'll see you down there
Yes.
racing.
Oh, you don't want me down there. It's a hospital.
So, just to wrap this up, so we can move on, I think that we really should do our homework, really look into the formula that was given us by the planning board, and, if we can, next meeting, make a decision. And maybe we could table this for right now, because I think their decision has to be based on our decision as well.
they need a
They need
recommendation
a
to at least
recommendation.
consider.
Right, exactly. So, I don't
I don't
know,
think it's gonna be.
it's not gonna be, it's not gonna be in December, unfortunately.
Well, he said he was hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, that's his,
Right.
But it's in December.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
okay, so I'll make a note, that we'll bring it back up. Any questions that arise from now until then, I just ask that everybody sends that to me and, you know, so I can, I mean, you're more than welcome to reach out to Sue yourself, but I just think it's easier if I kind of put it all in the.
Only person is looking at.
Yeah, put it all in one email, so that way, if, you know, any
she doesn't get
Yeah.
Right.
incoming, you know.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
so we go with that. We're gonna go to B, Lindsay.
Yes. So we have about 12 minutes left, so I have something a little different, for this month's kind of updates. Every year we are expected to prepare an annual report to the mayor's office to kind of sum up our year. I just wanted to share this with everyone, so that you guys can see for yourselves. And I will also add that this does not include everything. At some point, I'm sorry.
That's all
At some
right.
point, we have to,
Sorry.
That's all right.
we have to, save some ink, but we try to summarize, and highlight, provide the most, information, the majority of our statistics, and kind of put together. So, I encourage you all to kind of just look this over. There's nothing really to do with it, other it's just for your information. If people ask questions, I know a lot of times you guys will be in the community and people will ask, oh, why didn't they, do the tennis clinic this year? And you say, actually, they did a 7-week program. And sometimes, people don't realize that things have started. Like, for example, we actually are starting up our indoor playground for the 2KU next Tuesday.
Good.
Yep, so we're really excited because it's, obviously it's been on a bit of a hiatus. So get the word out if anyone's curious.
Too, right?
So yes, we hadn't really gotten to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy League had donated a lot. And so we're also gonna do inventory and see what, you probably could still use a couple upgrades, so. So that begins next Tuesday. Big League is underway, as you saw. Andrea's going to check out her niece. We have 2 games tonight.
This is the first night.
For Biddy, yep.
Wow.
Shirts are in on time. Yeah, that is my biggest,
I'll give you a pat on the back.
thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, my sister, my niece plays, and my sister texts me, she's like, all right, so what color do we have to wear tonight?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
borderline impossible to get all the registration numbers
Sizes.
and in time with the sponsorships too, so I will
I'm
say.
very impressed, Lindsay.
I appreciate it, but that is,
On the record.
Yeah.
What time you playing tonight, Lindsay?
huh? Oh, I'm over 30, I'm
You
over
over 30
30.
now?
Well over 30. And then honestly, over 30 is with 2 games, so we actually, we have 12 teams for over 30 this year, which is first time in a long time that I think we've had that many. Due to space and per some requests, we've done something a little different with over 30, where all the divisions play together during the regular season. And then playoff times, we break it up based on results. So there will be essentially 3 divisions come playoff time. And the players, at least from what I'm hearing, they all seem very happy with that idea. Some even think it was their own idea, so we'll run with that. Just whatever makes everybody happy.
That's the best.
Yeah.
If they did that, it's a great job.
Yeah, there you go. It's rare, but it did happen.
So what about the 40 league, 50?
50, which you are definitely, you're like a
Pickup game.
seasoned vet.
But you might,
Lindsay, you gotta stop.
I'm saying you're at least 5 years over.
That's
I mean,
That's right.
what do you mean? For the,
We're trying to get it in, but
the year?
It is in the works, but we are at a space issue, especially now that the indoor playground is starting up, so. With
That's important.
volleyball, so we
That's
got it,
important.
so I know it's not necessarily basketball season, but I would like to have that happen during the spring.
What about the pickup? That's the pickup?
That's what I'm talking about, yes,
In spring.
yes.
Yeah, that's perfect. That gives us time to warm up.
That's what I mean, and some folks don't like coming out in the cold, or, I'm not saying what type of, yeah, seriously, I mean, I struggle with the gym after work, it's tough.
It's
Yeah.
AARPs, right?
That's right, yeah.
You got
Yeah.
sponsors.
Yes, so we are looking to relaunch that and see how we can get the word out, also make sure that the right age group is participating, we don't have anybody sneaking in, trying to play with the old folk.
Ron's my point guard.
Ron is more than welcome, he can coach, he can be like the hunter, like John Wooden, you can have him sitting on, and everybody has to, he can coach both teams at the same time, I actually would appreciate that. You can let Ron know, by the way,
I will do
that Chris
Ron
is
knows
on
he's a
coaching
coach, right?
Woodsies this year.
Oh,
And he
really?
plays tonight, so we actually, I gotta send the schedule.
He's asking for it.
I will send the
Yeah,
schedule.
please send Ron a schedule.
Yes,
Just keep him involved.
yep, yeah, all right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so playground 14 to 18, registrations are open. We are starting that January 15th. I'll double check on coaches, so just in case we need anybody. Don't everybody jump up at once, especially you, Joe. But very rewarding.
Yeah.
I would coach them.
All right, well, let's see where we're at. 5 to 7 youth clinic. We are actually almost full on this one.
Nice.
I can't, and that was, I mean,
You just
that,
post that today, right?
yeah, I mean, we opened it up a couple weeks ago, but we didn't really do a lot of push because we didn't wait until closer. January 25th, that starts, and I think as of yesterday, we only had 7 spaces left. So now that we've posted it, it's possible, it's tough, and I'll have to check with Andrew on how much flexibility we have in expanding that, because it's, with the younger ones, it really is more hands-on.
Yeah, oh, big time.
So, we definitely need more staff
Is
for
that
that.
because the population is growing?
Honestly, I think that last year's went so well, I think that
Yeah, you're right.
all of our registration numbers, honestly, for our youth programs are through the roof. We have, I think we have 8 to 10 teams this year, 9, 11 to 13.
Yeah, you're saying that's
Yeah.
awesome.
I mean, that's just, it's jumped up a lot.
That's great though, that's great to see
And
kids
we
out.
may be losing population
Yeah,
and still increasing youth,
Hmm.
yeah,
you know,
Right.
because the seniors head south,
It's,
you know.
Well, this senior's still here.
That's,
Oh,
I'm just saying.
no, all right, well, that's mostly what I got. Oh, you know what though, one other thing, the, after school holiday party, that is the 16th. How are we doing? We're good with
okay.
bikes?
We already have some there,
I thought Andrew talked to me about that, and he
We have
met
some
with
there.
Tom Polk, yep,
and I have some more coming,
all right, perfect.
additional, and some other stuff we have.
All right, I'll give you a call then next week, actually, yeah, because we'll talk about that. One update on the kitchen, the Annie Murphy Neighborhood Center kitchen. We just got an update this morning that looks like this project will be pushed finishing mid-February. So we were expecting it to be done at the end of this year. They believe they will have everything, all the substantial finishes the end of January, and then the first 2 weeks of February, it's gonna be the punch list and all that, like last minute.
is that the walls and?
I mean, I'm hoping by punch list, they mean like, we just gotta like paint a little bit here,
Yeah.
do a little touch ups. Like everything should practically be usable by the end of January is my understanding.
Nice.
So we're gonna, start the permitting process and everything, hoping to have a nice launch either at the end of February or first week of March, assuming everything goes well. Yeah, so there was one other thing, but I think you're gonna talk about your
Yes.
conversation with Steve.
Yes, I spoke to Steve Shattuck this evening pertaining to Pat Burke and his horrific, not horrific,
Heroic, but horrific, I mean,
yep, it was,
terrifying, I'm sure.
what he did wasn't, you can't, words cannot express. So,
Does everybody know what he's referring to? Everybody's aware?
So she saved a family from getting burned out of their house, and I believe his house was across the street from the home. And he jumped up in his boxers and went over there and helped out that Larry. But Pat, he would love, because him and I are good friends also. We laugh all the time, always joke around. But what he did was amazing, and we like to honor him. And one thing we like to
So
do,
what did he do?
he saved the family from getting burned.
yeah.
So the fire that
Fire.
we heard about across the street,
Yeah.
so he and his wife alerted the family, I guess that, they were sleeping. Unfortunately, one person did not make it out. But he was able to save, I think, the remaining family, of 4 or 5 people. And Pat, I believe, caught a child out of a window.
Yes.
So it's just.
What he did was it's beyond amazing. He
Yeah.
is a good man.
An article in the Freeman that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Excellent man. Can't say enough about him.
I think you used the right term there.
Yes, yeah. So, rather than delaying, we'd like to do something sooner than later. I think it's best to do something sooner for him. So we decided to, have lunch for him on the
No, you
9th
said
at 12:00. And we'd like to have the park and rec.
11.
11?
11, because their lunch is 11 to 12, so.
Okay, so can we have from 11 to 12?
Yep.
At the Midtown, and we're gonna sponsor gonna sponsor it. for him.
Just one other thing on that. So I think Steve, did he talk to you about, the presentation? He's gonna,
Yes, and if we can get, yeah, the council to be there, the mayor, so we want.
no,
That's
he,
fine.
I think he wanted to do something at an official council
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah, he's gonna do an official meeting
Yeah.
this week coming up, I think on, next week, next.
I don't know what date he said.
I forgot the date, he did mention to me, I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, they're gonna have an official meeting on this.
Yeah, I think they
Yes,
wanna honor, give.
honor, yeah, and then on that Friday at 11
Oh, it's
o'clock,
the same week.
the same week, yeah, so we're gonna act on it
December?
this
Yeah.
month, yes.
So, yeah,
Today's the first.
So
Say the
next
first,
week
so
is-
next Friday,
next Friday is where they're,
we would like to
host a lunch.
host lunch for them at Midtown.
Yep, but the council meeting, we just need confirmation from Steve on what day that is.
What date, yes,
I'll
yep,
be out of town, but I fully support. I mean, absolutely, you know, recognition for,
yeah, what he did, I mean,
he saved some people's lives.
yeah, he did, he's a fun person, he loves to have fun and laugh and joke, but when it's time to do things, he's always there to do it, and, without hesitation, so we would like to do this, and not wait and delay,
Yeah.
we're gonna do it right away, so.
I think it's-
Next week is, like Nancy said, a proclamation, how they're gonna do it with common council.
We just need
Is
to
he
know.
available?
Yeah, just,
No.
If
I
you
don't
said
know.
it's a tax or
so last thing that I was told, Steve is waiting to hear back, from the, president, the council to get approval.
Mm.
You know,
Which I don't think that's gonna be a problem.
no, I just think it's a matter of when, where on the agenda it is.
On the agenda, and then Friday, Steve said, he looked at the calendar, he said they're good, they'll be good for next Friday at 11 o'clock, now that you mentioned.
Yeah, I'll make sure that.
So we have everything there, the 9th, I'm sorry, yes, the 9th, and we have 9th at 11 o'clock. And we have everything ready for him, just have to make it really good, I mean, this is big,
Yeah.
this is really big, and I'm just happy for him.
Okay,
Is he gonna be around available?
to confirm with him that. Yeah, we need him.
I'm not gonna be, so.
Yeah, this time of year it is tricky, so I will check with
Yeah.
him tomorrow. I mean, I just, I didn't know if it was supposed to be a surprise or like when, but like
I
I
don't
just.
think, I don't know if it's gonna be a surprise or not, but
it should have.
it shouldn't be.
No, I mean, in terms of, I just mean like he should know, like,
He should
It'd be
know,
hard
yeah.
to
Yeah, I'll reach
keep
out,
it a surprise.
reach out to him, but, yeah, I'll reach out to him, whatever, but I would, yeah, he's.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's enough said.
We're doing a luncheon of recognition and hopefully a proclamation. So
What's gonna
The
be?
proclamation is at
Is
the council.
That's the council.
We're just donating lunch.
We're just
gonna-
donating lunch, and and the rest of the recreation staff and everybody's gonna be there. That should be there, and if we can make it, whoever can make it from from commissions, I'm asking everybody to be there, please. Just support, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes, so you can see our face and let them know that we appreciate what he's done.
Yeah, I will try to find out what day and time that is, for the meeting.
Okay. So on that note, parks, trails, we supposed to sign, so everybody's not here, we'll put that on
Next.
the next, we'll table that for now, that's okay?
Yep.
Any old business?
So I had, just wanted me to look into other programs, or other communities, what they do for free and bench donation. So, with Lori's request, this is, good timing. So I came across a couple of concepts, but one, from Peekskill. It's actually very self-explanatory. It says, it has very specific rules, policies, items. This is a little bit, like, it's more specific about what is expected based on the item that you want. So it's, it's not very, it really falls under the department's discretion. It has guidelines about the text, how many characters you can have, design mock-up may be requested prior to final approval. There's a lot of good information on here, and it's just one example to consider. Based on the number that she actually said though, with that stone, that is pretty consistent with this.
Okay.
So like
Yeah.
a new park bench, it would be $2,000, like for the,
Yeah.
but I, you know,
Can I intervene real quick, Lindsay? You know, I think it's a good idea just to have the bench in memory of whatever, and that means abroad.
mhm,
And then the stones itself will be the path,
Yeah, to the,
you know,
Mhm.
and in the, which,
Up to the,
up to the
To the
bench or
bench.
up to that area. And eventually it could, you know, maybe it can go around it, but there's plenty of room to do it that way.
yeah,
And it's, you know what I mean? And it's, I think it'd be easier to do it like that.
yeah,
And we talked about, you know, it being someone who was impactful or very involved with the city, but that's when it was a bench
for one,
one person.
exactly.
And this
This is
is
something we talk
more for the county.
Right,
Right.
well, city, it's gonna be
For the
for,
city,
it
yeah.
could be for, I mean,
Yeah,
I say
yeah,
more
for
for
the
the
city, yeah. But that's more of a real
Yeah,
memorial stone.
Right, because the bench goes there, and then those blocks that you will buy, whatever, the four. I don't know if they were Kingston or.
I think I think we can open it up to anyone who wants to put a donation in and, you know.
Stone.
this is, I have to
The
say,
stone.
since her request is a little bit different now, I'm actually gonna loop in the mayor's office because it's a more broad
Yeah,
topic, so I am gonna speak.
I like. this.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
something that I think could be considered, on a more broad level, but in general, there was a discussion about how to proceed with requests that are different than naming a building after a well-known figure or someone who was, an employee or, department figure of the city. So, I had a conversation with the mayor about, adopt a bench program, which would be treated differently. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be treated or handled the same way as the naming policy. So I can send you guys a copy of this just to kind of look at.
That'd be great.
I'll send you a couple of other ones too. This was just one that I think stood out to me, but it talks about existing versus new, plaque versus, or a tree versus a bench. There's just different things to consider about it, but and also we are trying to have all of our benches be uniform. So, she wants to donate a bench, which I think is, really nice that she wants to pay for it, and take care of it. My thought and concern is making sure that everything is similar with our other parks.
Right. But if you do it if you do those as in pavers,
Mhm.
Right,
there's no maintenance to that. If you do
You
it.
got weed whack around, you gotta make
Yeah,
sure it's
Yeah,
all.
but if you do it right paving wise,
Mhm.
it's really not that much of
Right.
maintenance to it, honestly.
I think it's, like I said, her presentation.
Her presentation was
really
spot on.
Yeah.
And the bench itself is, you only need one bench there, but the bench itself is self-explanatory.
Yeah.
It's, what the materials that's made of, there's no maintenance to that at all.
Right.
And,
but you might want to, what I thought I was getting from what you were saying is it may not be able to be that bench, maybe it needs to be a
Right.
bench that the
But
city.
it's,
yeah, exactly, right.
Or, but it is the same style, like she's, yeah, it is exactly the same, the tracks that she's talking about, that is I believe those are the same benches that we've started putting along Broadway. And we're trying to make sure that the benches that we're replacing in our parks in the spring are gonna be that same bench.
Right.
So, it may be from a different company, or it may, might be slightly
Right, yeah.
more, and,
And then the pavers are the pavers, that's a separate.
right.
right, and those will be, so that's the thing, is if those are gonna be kind of like a donation program or a sponsored program, whatever it's called. It's just that part of it, as you know, when it comes to donations, however it's worded, I just need to make sure that it's worded correctly. For people to pay for an item, it has to be laid out, like who is doing the work.
Who's paying for
I
it?
will say that, right, so like with Deep Stadium, we have our promotion program where people can purchase signs from their businesses and put them along the fence line. What I learned when I came into this department is that there is when it was the Deeds Commission, they didn't necessarily have to follow the same municipal guidelines that we do when it comes to procurement. So once it fell onto our department, you know, we had to consider going, you know, getting quotes, going out to bid, because if you're purchasing multiple signs from the same company, you're gonna exceed that threshold. So then we have to get quotes and, you know, it just gets more complicated. So that we started having people pay a little bit less for their promotion, but it's their responsibility to go and get the sign made. You know what I mean? It just has to follow the certain dimensions and guidelines, but we don't care where they get it from as long as it has those dimensions.
Can we, just a quick thought, can we just, if it's gonna be something like that plaque itself, or that stone itself, long as everything could be consistent with that,
Right.
and also whatever price they pay, it should be a fee. If we're gonna, because they're not gonna do it, I mean, it's here gonna do it. So
But that's-
whatever
that's
the
what-
fee is for them to purchase
Right.
that, that's on them. But there has to be a fee for our labor.
But that's what I'm saying is if you buy something in bulk, or if we go to the same business and spend over $10,000, now we have to go out to bid, we have to go out to bid, or we have to get multiple quotes, like it just creates an extra step when the city takes on the procurement
So we
portion of
wouldn't
it.
do the procurement maybe for the bench, right, but not for.
Well, that's something that I'm trying to, we have to figure out.
What I'm saying is, it's real simple. It's just, you paying for them, they're paying, meaning
This block, $400,
You pay-
and $100 to put it in.
Right,
that's it. You paying the city $100 to
right.
put it
I
in.
think so.
And that's yeah, exactly.
So that's what we're doing
Exactly.
with, so that's essentially what we do with the deed signs, is
Exactly.
we don't go and pick it up, we don't order it, you show us your template, what you're planning to get, where you're getting it from, or we have to say, in order to make this work, you have to, I don't know if we can say that actually, that you have to get it from a certain business.
Yeah, that's like you.
But then you're taking the chance that it's not uniform.
Right.
That's what I mean, even if it's the same dimensions and color, it could be slightly off, it could be this black or it could be this black,
Right.
you know, so there's just some complications or pros and cons on both sides.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Or, I mean, if you make it colorful, it's colorful, but as long as the dimensions are the same, it's, I don't know, that's something you can choose later on.
yeah, I mean, we can talk about it, I think it's,
Path in the same page.
But I want mine to show more, so you guys will have these black granite, I
Right.
don't know, orange one,
Yeah.
you know?
So that's what you pay for.
I'm good with whatever,
You
but.
pay $5,000. You pay $100 to put it in.
He's
But
charging
anyway, we want to, Travis legs hurt because he played basketball today.
Monday, yeah.
By the way, Travis today is Thursday.
are you guys are good with the amendments, right, for the minutes?
Yeah.
We're all
Yeah.
good there, so I know, okay, yep.
All right, so I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
You make the motion to
Yeah,
adjourn?
you
Yeah,
can.
you can.
I can, Chair. All right,
I'll
so
second it.
all in favor?
All right.
Here's
All
the.
opposed?
He's
All right, have a good night, Travis.
Travis, you coaching tonight?
He
No.
doesn't do that anymore.
Oh, I forgot he got iced up. He played on Monday.
But it's a small hiatus. I'll be back.
He played on.
I'm putting that on the record.
Is that-
I'll be back. Yeah, right.
See you later, Travis. All right, have a good one.